guys. I'm gonna try to break this down really quick while I'm driving. I just got about 18 seconds in and I need to make a video right now. That's how bad it is. Alright, so police chief discusses incident at town center where earlier witnesses were saying that they heard one large bang, one large pow, one large boom. Okay, so anybody get shots fired from those accounts? Does anybody hear anybody saying, you know, multiple rounds being fired or anything like that? No. So people heard one big bang, and that must have been an active shooter at a mall. It's just ridiculous. Sorry, I just had to, just passed a little car versus bike accident, looks like. So anyways, already from the jump, from the first video that I showed you guys, already the news is putting out all kinds of bullshit. But I just thought I'd listen to this with you guys. Let me turn it on my thing here. Bam. Don't turn off on my phone. Bam. See what it sounds like.
You know, this is a very fluid situation, so I'm going to give you some facts, the understanding that the facts can change, and much of this is tentative up to this point.
Okay, so yeah, I listened to about 11 seconds of this video. This guy said it's a fluid situation. Okay, so there's a lot of moving parts to this situation. Understandable. I get that. But then he follows it up with, so I'm going to shoot you some facts. Now understand that the facts can change. Let's see. When I take a shit, it stinks. Fact. When I drop something from a tall building, it falls to the ground. Fact. Those two facts cannot change. My shit always stinks. Not sometimes, always. When you drop something from a building, it hits the ground. That's a fact. That can't be changed or altered at all. So what the fuck did he mean by that? Did he just misspeak? He should have reworded it differently. Well, thing is that I've never been to a speech therapist or any kind of speech class. I've never gone to any charter schools. You know, no one's ever taught me the proper way to speak other than regular American English and, you know, in school. However, this guy gets taught how to manipulate your thoughts, telling you that he's going to tell you something truthful, but that truthful thing could be untrue. But he warned you, so he's not to blame. So, how the hell did they get people saying that they thought shots were fired in the food court? Was there excuse me, was there a fight? Was there a screaming match? Was there a domestic going on? Was there a gang, two gangs at the mall at the same time? I mean, some of these things are really easy to find out. I mean, you find them out so quickly. You find these things out really quickly in people's first, you know, when you talk to the witnesses. So now I know after that you want to review all your video cameras and stuff like that, and then they probably try to confiscate people's phones to take whatever footage they have. I don't know about that. I can't say that that's a fact, but all right, let's go.
Right after about 3 o'clock today, we responded to a report of shots fired around the food court here at the Town Center Mall. We discovered a male on the scene who suffered a trauma wound. That male has been transported to Delray Medical Center.
So they found someone that had a trauma wound from a shots fired call, from a shots fired report by multiple people. Multiple people heard shots or a shot. Okay? They encountered someone with trauma. Trauma don't come from a shot. Gunshot holes come from shots. So obviously this guy has already spoken to paramedics, and they couldn't determine that this motherfucker hadn't been shot? Of course they did. Nobody got shot. Someone suffered trauma. Meaning they got hurt. They hurt themselves, right? Or someone hurt them. Well, did you find him in the food court? Did you find him in the parking lot? Where did you find this guy? Was this guy, was it a self-inflicted gunshot? Nope. Paramedics know what gunshot wounds look like. They know what a head with a gunshot wound looks like. They know gunpowder residue. They know how to figure that shit out, man, because sometimes the bullet holes are very small. If you got a very high caliber or high velocity weapon that and you shoot somebody and it goes through and through, nothing but lies.
At this time, we expect that those injuries will not be life-threatening.
So they know already. So they know already that this guy, if they found one guy that had trauma, his injuries are not life-threatening, but he still can't say, listen guys, there was no active shooter. He couldn't say it. He wasn't allowed to say it. Was it the fucking clown behind him that was making him... Look at her. Look at her, staring at him. And it looks like he hasn't got any sleep in a couple days. Maybe he did know a little bit about what was going on. Maybe he did know. So, look at that fucking thing to the right of us. She's been taking a lot of trips to the suntan fucking shop. Just like all quota hires, instead of taking their time out to train or learn, they'll go do their hair. They'll go do their fucking their feet. They'll go tan. That's why they're quota hires, because they're not fit for the job. Anyways.
Some other injuries, minor injuries, trips and falls as a result of a number of people evacuating the area, although we do not have any other significant injuries that we're reporting as a result of that. No additional gunfire reported after the initial reports on the scene, and we're going to plan on doing a very systematic clearing of the mall at this point. We have SWAT teams, we have teams from around this area.
So we're going to continue with the drill, even though it's all fucked up. We're going to sweep the mall and potentially fucking shut down all the power to the mall, which will shut down all the cameras to the mall, which could, you know, I mean, I'm going to go extreme with this right now, but I mean, these motherfuckers could be stealing all kinds of money or all kinds of diamonds. Who knows what the fuck is in there? I'm looking too far into it, but this guy just doesn't want to tell any kind of truth.
Thank our partners today from Broward, Palm Beach, our federal partners for being here.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Little roll call. Roll call. Got to get that in there. Make her feel good.
Very, very large scene here. Make sure that it's safe and make sure that we can get folks out in a very timely but safe manner. We're going to ask for a lot of patience because this is a significant scene that we have here. We're going to make sure we protect the crime scene. Our investigators are not only at the hospital, we're pouring over the scene right now.
So there was a crime? What was the crime? I'm just wondering, what was the crime? I mean, you should get your ducks in a row before you fucking go on national television, dick fuck. There's people that have family in fucking Boca Raton. You're fucking stressing them out. Name the crime. Because I can yell fucking fire in the building. It doesn't mean that there was a crime. And it sounds like a lot of people were yelling all kinds of shit. But I don't hear a crime. I don't hear anybody describing a crime. Where is the crime?
To determine what happened. We're not going to make any assumptions about numbers.
Well, no, but you're going to make assumptions about there was shots fired, even though no one has bullet wounds. You found somebody that got hurt, no bullet wounds, because it's just trauma. Can you elaborate on that trauma? I mean, this person's obviously not in, what'd you say earlier? No life-threatening injuries. So I would think that the line of communication is there. So what happened?
About suspects. We would ask, though, if you have information, I'm going to give you a tip line, and that line is 561-416-3359. 561-416-3359. Right now, again, we have one victim, significantly speaking, that we're dealing with, and we're looking for any information that we can receive otherwise as what to occur here. With that, again, very preliminary. I'll take some questions, but understand that we're doing a lot of investigating at this point. We don't have any suspect information that we're releasing at this time. Again, that's why we put the information out. But when we have anything at all, we'll update you.
No suspect information that we're releasing at all. So he's still trying to scare you. He's still trying to make you think that there's a fucking suspect. Where's the crime? No crime.
Understand, part of this process is going over a lot of technology, a lot of video. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We're now just getting into that. And as we know more information, we'll let you know. Just so you know, we anticipate giving you an update at around 8 o'clock. This is going to take a long time getting through the scene and getting people out here safely. But we do want to make sure that we keep you up to date on what's happening here. I want to thank the mayor for being here and all of our other partners as I talk about what's involved here today.
Is the male in the parking lot? And is the one victim the male who's in the parking lot? And is it possible it was self-inflicted and there is no suspect?
We're not commenting on what's floating around social media right now. We'll verify that once we get through the investigation to make...
Oh, really? So people from social media are already busting out videos, right? So So you're not going to comment on what you've seen on social media? No comment on what video evidence has been put out on social media? No comment. All right. That's odd. But okay.
That determination, that anything you see around social media, take it with a grain of salt and understand that if it doesn't come from us, then ultimately, take it with a grain of salt.
Did he make it in the mall though?
Are you fucking kidding me? Did this guy just say that? If you see something on social media, take it as a grain of salt. It could be a fucking lie. It could be CGI. It could be an altered video. It could be doctored. Right. Okay, so people have the time and the technology to fabricate some kind of video building off of your guys' fucking LARP? Not likely. I would probably believe shit that I seen on the video as soon as it came out.
Suspect makes it the victim.
He said if it didn't come from us, take it with a grain of salt.
Media, take it with a grain of salt and understand that if it doesn't come from us, then ultimately, take it with a grain of salt.
Do you see that body language? That is a body language of a fucking lying piece of shit, trash individual. Look at this body language again. When he's saying take it as a grain of salt, the way he throws his shoulders up, he's saying, I wouldn't believe that.
To make that determination, that anything you see around social media, take it with a grain of salt and understand that if it doesn't come from us, then ultimately, take it with a grain of salt.
Did he make it in the mall though? Did the suspect make it? Did the victim, was he in the mall?
The victim was in the food court area at the time, and then we encountered him. Our officers were already on the scene of this call when it happened, so the response time.
Oh man. So it's the same as San Bernardino. It's the same as every other fucking phony fake show. DHS and all these fucking agencies they just happen to be fucking buying their wives some fucking jewelry today. They were already there. No need to call. They were already there.
It was immediate.
So you're saying there is not anyone in custody right now?
There's no one that we have in custody now. Again, we're going over all the video and other evidence. We're going to be talking to a lot of people as they come out of the mall, as we interview them to get more information. And when we have that, we'll push that out to you.
Is the victim in a position to talk?
We've had some very limited communication with the victim at this point. And again, once we get more information about that, we'll let you know.
Was a weapon recovered with the victim nearby?
We do not have any weapons right now that we have recovered. That's all part of the ongoing investigation.
Do you have an estimation how many people are still at the mall?
There's thousands of people in the mall right now, so I wouldn't even estimate to how many are there.
He ain't gonna estimate, but there's thousands of people in there. But he won't estimate, but there's thousands of people in there. But he ain't gonna estimate that there's thousands of people in there.
We understand a lot of people out there right now are very concerned about their loved ones. We have our teams, our SWAT teams, our tactical teams in there now clearing the mall, making sure they're safe and making sure they get out safely. At the same time, we need to do our job to investigate to see what's going on.
And why was there no communication out to the public?
We tweeted out almost immediately, I think.
Tweeted out
information as to what was going on. The best way for you to get information from us is through social media. Most of you know that, and we'll be happy to get with you on that. Next question.
Post on social media.
I'm sorry?
Wow, look at that.
The best way for you all to...
Hold on, my speaker's fucking up.
Communication out to the public.
We tweeted out almost immediately, I think.
Tweeted out
information as to
Facebook
what was going
alerts.
on. The best way for you all to get information from us is through our social media. Most of you know that,
And there was
and
one
we'll be
post.
happy to...
But didn't you just get done saying that social media could be fucking lying? So believe your social media. Don't believe anybody else's social media. Fuckhead.
To get with you on that.
There was
Next
one
question.
post on social media.
How serious are the victims?
I'm sorry?
Security at the mall armed? Are they prepared for this kind of situation?
Understand in this case that our officer was immediately on the scene. We had.
Again, this guy does not answer the question. The question was, do you have armed security in the mall? He did not answer that question.
There was one post on social media.
I'm sorry? Understand in this case that our officer was immediately on the scene. We had officers that were assigned to the mall, working details, already on duty at the time, and officers actually made contact with the victim almost immediately, and were able to secure the scene almost immediately.
And why are all the doors?
Are you kidding me? Then who the fuck? How the fuck can we even come up with this shooter situation? There's no suspect. There's no shell casings on the ground, obviously. There's nobody else hurt. We heard one bang. What the fuck's really going on?
Not locked down at the mall.
We're going to make personal contact with those folks. We ask you to follow our social media as we put information out. We appreciate what you're doing here too. You're getting that information out. It's going to be a slow, methodical process, as we've seen in the past. That it takes time for us to do this. We just started really the most intensive efforts to actually clear some of that area. A lot of it's already been cleared, but we set aside greenification areas. This is all done in an orderly manner, and unfortunately we've learned a lot from the past on how to do this, but we have...
Oh shit. You learned a lot in the past on how to fuck everything up, buddy.
A lot of structure in place. We're bringing people to a particular area, screening them, and making sure they get out safe.
Why were still patrons coming into the mall after the shooting?
Wow.
Why was the entire mall not locked
I'm
down?
sorry. The whole incident, from what we understand, was confined to the food court area. That's correct.
Did you hear that the victim knew the shooter?
I'm sorry?
Do you know the victim knew the shooter? Was this random? Or was
Yeah,
it
any relationship that may have existed between suspects and victims is what we're now pursuing as part of our investigation. We'll let you know that when we have that information. I'm sorry.
Is there a meeting point for people in the mall to meet their family loved ones?
We'll let people know if there's a specific reunification point. We have not put that information out yet, but when we have that, we'll let you know.
Chief, how serious
Okay.
are the injuries, the victim's injuries?
I do not believe at this time that those injuries are life-threatening. So, that's all we really have at this point.
You even said there was a shooting. Forgive me for missing.
I've not said that.
You have not.
No, I have not.
So we don't know there was gunfire or that this
We do
person
not
was
know
shot?
that. That's all part of the investigation at this point. We know there's trauma. We know there's an injury. We know there's a...
You know there's trauma and there's some injuries. Well, I can stub my toe and have trauma and injuries. So thousands of people should be
reports,
inconvenienced.
multiple reports of shots fired. So we're treating this with an abundance of caution. If there's a specific reunification point, we have not put that information out yet, but when we have that, we'll let you know.
Chief, how serious
Okay.
are the injuries, the victim's injuries?
I do not believe at this time that those injuries are life-threatening. So, that's all we really have at this point.
You even said there was a shooting. Forgive me for missing.
I've not said that.
You have not.
No, I have not.
So we don't know there was gunfire or that this
We do
person
not
was
know
shot?
that. That's all part of the investigation at this point. We know there's trauma. We know there's an injury. We know there's reports, multiple reports of shots fired. So we're treating this with an abundance of caution. We're doing our job from a tactical perspective. We'll treat it like a complex investigation until we know otherwise.
But is it gunshot wound, though?
Nope, not saying it's a gunshot wound. It's trauma.
Why was Town Center Mall not locked
Any other
down
questions?
after the shooting?
Why, we'll try to be back here about 8 o'clock tonight to give you
Why
another
were
update.
more
Okay?
He didn't want to talk about his fucking
Right now,
He didn't want to talk about how they fucking did not lock down the fucking mall when there was reports of shootings. He said that there was no gunshot wound, just trauma. This guy is just a barrel of lies, and he's just trying to fucking scare people. It's ridiculous. I'll be back.